In this episode, we are discussing mindfulness. We take a look at what it means to be mindful and how you make mindfulness your own.
Let's talk about what intuition really is.
Let's look at all the places intuition and ego show up in your life.
Let's share honestly.
Let's do the research.
I'm Jamie Hayhurst.
I'm Heather Wood.
This is the Intuitive Girl's Guide.
This episode will play uninterrupted after a brief message from our sponsors.
You know what goes great with podcast listening?
A great cup of coffee from a great coffee shop. Restoration Coffee. Can we go?
Ooh, yeah, check them out and visit restoration-coffee.com. Hey, Jay.
Hey.
We're going to talk about mindfulness today.
Okay.
I picked this for slightly nefarious reasons.
I figured as much.
Yeah, I mean,
When
shocking.
you told me that, I was like, oh, there's something at play here.
Okay, so this is, let me tell you what it is. This is one of those terms, I'll say right now, we're both fans of mindfulness. This is not like
Of course.
where we hate this
Anti.
concept. No, I'm sure we'll be a bummer about stuff, but like, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't something we're against.
Mm-mm.
This is just one of those things that I was reminded of it recently when someone told me that they were working on mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
It sort of harkened me back to coaching days where I ran a group coaching program. Jamie was a member of it at one time.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I think people would affectionately tease me about or kind of groan about as a group that I would do would be to make everyone define what words mean to them.
Right.
So if someone said, like, I'm working on mindfulness, I would then say, what does mindfulness mean to you? And it does sound very much like a TV therapist or a nitpick. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, what does that mean to you? But something that you and I both know and feel very strongly about is how much words matter.
Yes.
How powerful words are. Words are spells. What they mean to you, if you're not fully aware of that,
Right.
it will knock you off course in what you're trying to do, because likely you have stuff around mindfulness that you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You have insecurities and fears and things you associate with it. And then you also have like ideals about it that might not be true. And so if you're just like, I'm going to work on mindfulness, and you don't really define it, like, what does that look like for you? What does that mean? You're not really going to get where you want to go. You're not going to have the desired effect.
Yeah. And I also think maybe a few steps down the pipeline to that is like, you also are at risk. If you're not aware, you're not sure of what mindfulness means. I feel like that's one of those phrases that has been sort of co-opted by people in this like wellness, intuition, whatever community that we're a part of. And I think it followed very closely behind like yoga and mindfulness and ego and Reiki and all of these things that people just sort of get on board with and are sold in a yoga class or in a coaching program, or you see in a reel on Instagram or something.
Yep.
And you don't really know what it means, but you have a general idea of it, and you know it's something that you want to better yourself, but does the person that's selling it to you really know what it means? You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like one of those things that it's just like the meaning of it has changed.
Yeah.
And so that's why, to your point, it's very important that you know what it means to you.
Yeah.
And to the person that you're learning it from.
Yeah.
So that you're in the right place and doing the right thing.
Yeah, because the term is abstract.
Correct.
That's sort of like saying I'm working on my health.
Correct. Exactly.
That's awesome.
Right.
But that does not mean the same thing to two
like
different
what
people.
And why and for what reason.
And how I was working on my health 6 months ago is different than how I was working on it now. Like, it's too nebulous. That's a word that you like to use. Like that, it is. And and again, it's not to be like critical. Well, it is a little, but not mainly to be critical, but to instead save you doing like a lot of probably great work and using a lot of great tools and missing the mark or feeling a lot of shame because you're not experiencing what you want. because
Correct.
you don't actually know what that term means to you.
Yeah, when something is that abstract or nebulous, there's just a lot of room for error, and there's a lot of room for mismanagement of the work that you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the other part of this that I feel like you kind of like sparked in my brain when you were talking before is that capitalism, Jamie, I'm not sure if you're aware of it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it has really kidnapped mindfulness.
All of this, yes. All of those things.
And listen, like, Tony Robbins is someone we talk about. I have a very conflicted, troubled relationship with him as like, he knows so much and is such a great expert in NLP and all these things. And he's a great speaker and very great at what he does. But there's some problematic parts too. But he's a great example of using mindfulness with the end goal of making a lot of money.
Yeah.
And listen, that's one of my goals too. Like, there's nothing wrong with wanting to make a lot of money.
No.
But mindfulness isn't a tool for that. In fact, mindfulness would be much more along the lines of like being really aware and feeling like you're really in your body and understanding the journey to that goal more than it's the goal.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So I want you to have your eyes open when you're looking at mindfulness stuff, that like, is this mindfulness class or workshop or video or whatever you're consuming, is its end goal for me to become a billionaire?
Right.
Or whatever form of that they're selling. Or is it intuitive in the way that it's directing it for me to say, how do I use mindfulness to navigate where I desire to go, not where someone is telling me to go?
Exactly.
Who's telling me how to define mindfulness, not telling me I should use their definition of mindfulness.
Exactly. And who's likely to become a billionaire first? You or them? Hopefully neither of you.
Hopefully neither. Yeah. No one should be a billionaire. Yeah.
But like if the money's really flowing towards them, then that's a good indicator of where the program is. Yeah.
Yeah. And listen, I hope you use mindfulness to make money. But if that's the only way you're using it,
correct,
you're missing out.
Right.
Okay. So that leads me into trying to figure out the origin of the term.
Right.
And listen, we joke about the autisticness of this and like me needing to know the origin of everything and stuff, but you should always look at the origin and where something comes from before you start using it or selling it or So I love the teasing about it and everything. 100%. But like, I'm just reminding you that like,
it's important.
It's crazy that like, I'm like, people will like have whatever their feedback is, but they'll be like, oh, of course she wants a definition, but like, that shouldn't be weird.
No, because if you don't know where something comes from, then you could be doing the dirty work of some racist, misogynistic, patriarchal asshole and spreading their work around without knowing it. And that's exactly what they want from us.
Like Grabavoy, which is still like our most viral videos on TikTok.
Exactly.
You gotta know.
People still fight with you about that constantly. All the time.
Yeah,
it's like,
it's so silly. Yeah.
But no, we're not doing the dirty work for people.
No.
Even if it's like cool or trendy, no thanks.
No. Gross. So speaking of dirty work, this term is like kind of a nightmare to trace.
Of course.
But I will say that it seems to originally come from a Buddhist scholar translating the term. I believe it's pronounced sati. It's S-A-T-I. Okay. And so that word was in an ancient Indian language called Pali, P-A-L-I. These are so old that like I couldn't find one pronunciation. So my apologies if that's not right. I did try. But the translation of that word to mindfulness is not like agreed upon by everybody.
Okay.
Because not all words directly translate. And especially ancient words. Like when you go to use them. And we talk a lot about terminology and how it's changed and adjusted and through time. So it's a very complicated thing.
Yeah.
But people have like different ideas of what it is. So I'm gonna sort of share what some people say it translates to. So awareness, that seems to be awareness, meaning like your mind is aware specifically, seems to be like the most agreed upon or the most common way people use it.
Agreed.
But what I found interesting is that there are a lot of people talking about how that word actually translates into remembrance and recollection more than awareness.
Interesting.
So I found I read so many things about it. I wish I could name like all the articles that I read, but I don't remember them all. But some say it means like being aware in a present moment so you can remember that moment. And I think I like that one the best.
I do too. I like that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, mindfulness, I'll give you my definition. I believe you should have your own.
Right.
Okay. And I don't think it needs to be, we all look at it the same way.
No.
But if you were to say to me, like, describe what it's like when you're mindful. All right. I would say that I'm like really actively present and I'm experiencing something and I'm in a state where the experience is just like hitting me in all the senses and all the places, emotionally, mentally, and there's sort of like a balance to all of it.
Right.
That feels like mindfulness. And it isn't the perfection of that. It's sort of like the constant pursuit and adjustment to that so that the moment I'm in is something that I can go back to or remember.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. How would you agree with that? How would you define it? Because I'm going to tell you how I think modern day people define it, but what do you think?
I think I agree with what you said. I also would add that I think that when I'm trying to be mindful, I am obviously trying to be very present, but I'm also trying to remain aware about what is at play in the moment. So I want to be very aware of my intuition, but I also want to be aware of my ego and like what blocks are at play, what issues might be coming up for me, what resistance might be there, because the only way through those and to appreciate a moment and to enjoy a moment or to be successful or whatever in a moment is to know what's happening, like to know all the variables that are at play. And so that I think is one of the factors that I would consider for mindfulness.
I agree. I see that sort of same sense as like the dial adjusting the whole time.
Yes,
as sort of like you're kind of constantly taking the temperature of everything and you're like making adjustments. And it should never be that you like, I'm expecting to be fully present in every moment. Like I don't have that expectation of myself. That would be great, but like not real.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people expect mindfulness to be sort of like a calm or a stillness or something like that. But that's not what when I'm thinking of someone being the stereotype of someone being mindful, it's like someone meditating or someone being very quiet and still. Yeah. And for me, that's not mindfulness. My brain doesn't like that. So for me, it would be just being aware, and to your like moving the dials, it would be just constantly trying to create a balance or an alignment, right? Yeah. Of like what's working here, what's not working, what could be at play. How do I get to sort of the best, in quotes, result?
Yeah. 100%.
Whatever best means in that moment.
Yes. Because I don't think mindfulness is about, it's sort of like the super cheesy thing where it's like motivation. People want motivation. And it's like, well, you don't just enter motivate. Like you're doing that same adjusting to be motivated to do something, right? Like this mindfulness feels like the same thing to me. It's not like an end state that's like static that, I've achieved mindfulness. It's sort of like a balanced state where you're like, doing those adjustments so that you can be like really present and you can experience the moment in the, like you said, best way you possibly could in that moment. Right. With a real expectation that you're not going to nail it every time. Right. That's how I see it.
Agreed.
So the modern definition is active, present state of awareness.
Okay.
So
I can get behind that. I mean,
I can too, but
I wouldn't be mad at someone for saying that.
I wouldn't either, but there is a problem for me with it. And again, I know splitting hairs, but the hairs are important. You know what I mean? Because they're affecting you. Yes, present state moment. But to me, there's a difference between like being really present in like a joyful moment of like being like, I want to remember this and like taking a mental picture, right? and being really present in a traumatic moment.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, I don't even consider mindfulness in like a joyful moment. I think I kind of easily go there.
It's a state you're just kind of snapping into, right? Yeah.
I'm working on mindfulness in hard moments.
Yes, but your brain's not wired the same. So like, meaning when I'm in like a more traumatic moment, I'm going to be hypervigilant, which is not mindfulness. It's like people think that mindfulness, like the opposite of it, like if you're not being mindful, you're not paying attention. But also hypervigilance is not attention. Mindfulness. Right. Too much attention. Right. Where now I'm worried and I'm putting myself in these shoes. Like I'm responsible for everyone around me's feelings. And does everybody like me? Am I being too loud? Am I being too quiet? Am I being too whatever? Right. That is a hypervigilance state.
Yeah, and you're calling in all the old programming and making it true, right? To keep you safe. Like you're calling in all the old stuff to keep you safe in that moment, which isn't what mindfulness is.
No, and it doesn't even have to be traumatic. It can just be a state where I've stepped too far into hypervigilance. Honestly, I think I exist, and I think you do too, in a state of like a little too much hypervigilance. Agreed. Like I think what feels maybe like a neutral state is a state that many people would describe as like way too hypervigilant.
My therapist says it is.
Mine too. So but I'm aware of that. Yes. And again, I don't think there's one state for everybody. I don't think that I will ever achieve being someone who is not hypervigilant 99% of the time.
Agreed.
But it's about the awareness of it, and it's about making adjustments for it. And I've told this story before, but during COVID, when you had to wait in line for grocery stores, I remember just being like, looking at my husband and being like, he's just standing here.
Right.
He's just waiting off in la la land. Like he's actually just standing there. He's probably being mindful.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm counting how many people till it's our turn. I'm worried about the guy 4 people ahead of me because he looks like he might not feel well. And I'm like thinking like, if he faints, this is what I'll do. Yep. I'm worried about the cars coming by and the little kids that the mom over there is distracted and not seeing, and they're going to run on the road. So I'm thinking what I'll do if I need to deal with it. And it was this real moment of awareness of like, I don't think I need to do this, but I don't think I know how to not do it.
Right. You don't have to just be.
Yes. I have since worked on it in therapy, but I just think it's important because I really feel like mindfulness is sold to you as this, like, the opposite of just being distracted.
Yeah, it's the Zen.
Yeah.
Right,
but
exactly.
If you go too far on the other side, which is where we exist, that's not mindfulness either. No. Because I'll tell you what, I don't remember any of the feelings I had in that moment. I can't tell you. I was not present.
You're not optimal. You're not like peak Heather in that moment.
No. I think I'm like a Secret Service agent scanning the crowd to protect the president or something. Right. Exactly. It doesn't make any sense. No. But that's just my design. That's what my nervous system does. So like, it's important that you know what yours is. There are people in this world who, instead of being hypervigilant, they're hyper distracted, and they're just like masters at avoiding their feelings and the things around them, and they're so good at it. They usually end up being around people like us.
Yep.
We're magnets for them. Absolutely. Yeah, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to like see those two different dynamics, but you have to understand that this state that we're all looking for is in the middle of those two things. It's a balance of those things.
Yes. Great point.
Okay. What you were saying before about the balance of the dials, I think that mindfulness is just like a balanced state inside of you.
Agreed.
Sort of like being grounded, or, like it's like a version of that maybe is something you can sustain.
Yeah, I agree.
For a little bit.
That's true. Yeah, I agree.
Okay. Mindfulness, Jamie, is not an even playing field.
No.
There is neurodiversity at play. There's trauma at play. There's a great amount of privilege at play to even consider
being mindful,
having mindfulness in your life. Like, so when there's sort of that like shame-based presentation of mindfulness, like, or are you even practicing mindfulness? Or, oh, you were in yoga shavasana and you couldn't quiet your mind.
Exactly.
I'm not here for any of that.
No.
Because
Same.
that's ridiculous. That's not how it works.
No.
Honestly, my best states of mindfulness are not with a blank brain. I don't know what having a blank brain is like. I'm sure it's cool, but like I've never done that. And that doesn't feel good to my system anyways, right?
Mm-mm.
A great state of like in Shavasana or in meditation or whatever, just being is me like kind of deep diving on one subject. That's where my brain is kind of like goes along for a ride. Where are we going? I'm not directing, it's just happening. That's my state of that.
Got it.
What's your state? It's not one thing. I know that.
No, I think like you said, it's being able to maintain a train of thought.
Yeah.
But a sort of productive train of thought.
And it doesn't have to be a straight line.
Yeah, one that's not worried or obsessing or hypervigilant or anything like that, but one that's just sort of a productive train that I can follow and go with.
Yeah. I was thinking about this the other day. I had a conversation with someone of like, what do you do when you're having a massage?
Yes.
Okay. So some people like talk the whole time.
No.
I don't do that. No. I couldn't maintain that.
No.
I can't talk and relax. Those two things don't go together.
No.
And I love
for me, that's performing. Like I'm in the massage to relax and to chill out. I don't want to perform or think about what I'm saying or think about how you're feeling about what I'm saying. Or
there's a part of your brain that has to be active in a conversation that I do not want active in a massage, which is like really being in tune to someone else and sort of being reactionary, where like in a massage, I don't want to think about any of that.
Agreed.
Okay. So I don't, but some people that would relax their nervous system to just like keep a conversation going. They're probably avoiders. If we're honest.
100%.
Because they don't want to go into the place where they're
exactly.
But I was saying what I do in a massage, this won't surprise you, but some people will think it's silly, but you'll 100% have predicted this. I have pre-thought up a couple of topics I'd like to play around with quietly in my brain when I get to the massage. And when they go, I'm like, topic 1. And I just like kind of see what comes up around it. And then I go topic 2. And then I see, and then when I leave, I go into my notes app and I write stuff down.
Really?
Yeah.
Talking to the massage therapist?
No, in my own
in
brain.
your head. Oh, God.
No, I'm not talking about any of that. No.
Yeah.
I do my normal, like, blah, 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 the little bits you do.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, no, that's
And then
fine.
I'm quiet,
Yes.
but, like, my quiet time is, I pre-picked 3, because I don't want to get there and be like, what am I going to think about? That's not a great thing for me.
Interesting.
Because I'll start thinking about the masseuse. Or another time I was, and I don't want it. I want it to be my time.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
So I pick like 3 topics, usually on the drive there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pull these up and see what comes. And it's a little bit clairvoyant, right? I like to see what imagery. I want to see how I feel.
Yes.
And then I try to create like a little space to like what pops up.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I do. But that to me is a very deep state of relaxation where I'm providing myself a distractionless time to think about something.
Yes.
What do you do?
Oh, I'm just see you later.
Out.
Yeah. I'm not sleeping. No, I do not want to sleep because I'll be really mad because
you'll miss it.
If I'm missing it. If I'm getting, I mean, I'm a heavy input person. Like my nervous system loves heavy input. So
you like to be attacked.
Perfect.
You're like an assault massage is your thing. Yeah.
I just got a massage yesterday and, it's perfect for me. The input of a massage is like, is great. But if I fall asleep and I miss that, I'm going to be very upset.
Yeah.
But no, my brain is just sort of going through like, I allow whatever comes up.
Just kind of like autopilot.
But if it starts to feel stressy or like I'm overthinking, I'll reroute it and I'll be like, nope, not here. We're not doing this. Like, and we'll just, it might be about work or the kids or whatever, but it's also sort of like what noises am I hearing around the city, like that. Like I'm just sort of letting my brain follow the path that
You're
way.
just like becoming an observer of what's grabbing at your attention. Yeah. That's awesome.
But I know one of the avoiders in my life who also goes to get massages, they talk. Yeah. And they talk about like what the different muscles are doing and like what's happening in their body. And I was like, why are you doing that?
Because they're avoiding that state that you're talking about.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
She'll tell me after.
Yeah. Me too. I'll ask.
She'll say like, oh, this side, Jamie. Wow. Work on that.
I limit myself to 3 questions to ask the masseuse or any practitioner that I've done something with at the end, because you know that I will go, oh, and what about that? Because I've thought of a lot.
Yeah.
So I have created the like learn to be a social person rule of like 3's the limit.
Oh, so you're not like testing them. They don't feel like quiz.
People don't interpret you asking them a lot of questions as you being interested.
No, it's like you're skeptical.
They interpret it based on their own insecurities. And so I've sort of mastered the art of like 3's kind of the limit. And you know, if the person sees the first question they're rattled by or something, I won't keep going. But like just as a general rule.
Oh, I don't do that. If something comes up, I let them tell me. Unless there's something I have a very specific concern about, fine.
But like, you probably address that in the beginning if you have a specific concern.
Yeah, if you have a good practitioner of anything, not just massage therapy, but any practitioner is going to ask you before you start.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Exactly.
What brings you in today?
Exactly. You know? Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So in addition, going back to like the things where it's not an even playing field. Okay. Anxiety. Just in general, having PTSD, et cetera, et cetera. If those are issues you deal with, being present when you also are experiencing those kinds of anxieties is going to be a lot harder.
Yeah, no, it's going to be unsafe for your brain.
It's going to be impossible.
Yeah, your brain doesn't want you to be present if you're struggling with PTSD or anxiety or CPTSD or anything like that. Your brain does not feel safe.
I've talked before about having a panic disorder. And like, you know me, I need to understand what's actually happening. But like the state, what happens when your amygdala takes over, which is a very simplified version of what's going on when you're having a panic attack or any sort of anxiety thing, right? It's literally impossible for you to remember, be present, have like all these parts of your brain working. Like it can't because that's taken over.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's not doing it.
So it's not just that, oh, I'm feeling a little nervous, so I can't be present. It's like literally your brain will not allow that to occur.
And it's also why you just being mindful or just applying this mindfulness practice is not going to work if you're in that heightened state. Like you can do all the reading and all the webinars and all the classes you want to do about mindfulness. But if you're not aware of what's happening in your brain, in your body, in your nervous system, and you're trying to implement, you know, this journaling technique while your brain is spiked and your amygdala's on fire and trying to keep you safe and every systems are all shut down, it's not going to work.
In fact, you're going to make the anxiety worse.
Exactly.
If you do that.
Right.
Sometimes you just have to like allow. In my experience with anxiety, the more you fight against it, the worse it gets.
Yes.
So learning to safely give it space is the hardest thing, in my opinion, to master. But that's what you do. So if you're like forcing mindfulness on yourself, that's no.
Right. But if your brain is, I know I've already said it. I feel like I need to say it again. If your brain is in like a trauma response, is in a heightened state, and it feels like it has to get itself to safety.
Yes.
You telling it to be quiet or to just sit still.
Yeah.
Is not going to be helpful.
No.
And it's probably going to be harmful.
Correct.
Because you're saying.
Don't worry about the safety that you're petrified of.
Right, exactly.
Here. Yeah.
It's like trying to like through like a fire alarm.
Yeah. It's sort of the equivalent of a woman being mad and a man telling her to calm down.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
It has
That's what you're doing.
Opposite response. Exactly.
So don't do that to yourself.
No.
Just allow.
And don't be upset if it doesn't work, because that's why.
Because there's no one's going to come and give you an award for being the most mindful.
Right, exactly.
That's not a thing.
No.
You know, in fact, I think it is mindfulness when you're having anxiety to allow and to know, I'm not going to force myself to be zen right now. I'm going to give myself what I need to move through this, and then
that is mindful.
Right.
That is mindful.
But if you're like active present awareness is the only version of mindfulness, then like that's not, no. Okay. Being taught that there's one way to be mindful for everyone, you're never going to be mindful, because that doesn't even make any sense. But that's how it's sold. Here's this is how you can be mindful.
Right.
10 tips for being mindful.
Exactly. 10 step.
No, because my mindful and your mindful are different because we have different brains.
Well, right. It's like everything that we say in this podcast that people don't like, but like we have different brains. We have different nervous systems. We have different clairs. We have different traumas. We have different blocks. We have different fears. We have different desires.
Yeah.
So there's no one formula for every single person because our bodies and our brains are doing different things.
I mean, I feel like I get in trouble when I talk about neurotypicalness and neurodiversity a lot. Like people get mad at us. I don't know what to tell you. We're both neurodiverse.
They're mad at everything.
I know.
When we talk.
We say sometimes.
And like, I've been working real hard this episode not to say like.
I've been trying not to say Yeah. Whatever.
Vocal fry?
We don't have that.
We don't.
We're from Boston.
Whatever.
We might not say our R's sometimes.
No, I work real hard on that too.
But when I get mad on here, I can hear my accent become
flaring.
Just there's no R's said.
Yeah,
it's very Boston.
Yes.
But I think for the most part we do okay. Anyways, side note, we don't need to be mindful about that, please.
I need to be less mindful of that.
Yeah. Who cares? I'm sorry, did you come to this podcast to hear a perfectly edited, like said by AI
correct
thing? No, you came here to have a conversation. And if you have a conversation in real life with me or Jamie, we're going to say, we're going to say we're going to
that's the thing is
cough probably, or say a word wrong, or me definitely mispronounce something. Like all of that's going to happen in real life.
It's not scripted.
No.
We're having a conveation. So I need to get my thoughts together.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm going to go, yeah, fuck off, dude. I'm trying my best. I'm going to wear the same shirt sometimes, like whatever your criticism
100% wearing the same shirt. Next episode, see you in this shirt.
See you in this. Awesome. Okay. The other thing is not knowing your main clairs.
Yes.
And trying to apply mindfulness is going to be like way harder than it needs to be.
Exactly.
See our many episodes on all the clairs. But listen, the clairs are the inner senses. And the inner senses that you have the most developed are connected to the outer senses you have the most developed. Like they're all connected. Your learning style and your inner senses, your clairs are the same. So if you're a visual learner, you're likely clairvoyant. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's how you need to hear it to understand it. You're probably clairaudient. Like
you need to do it to understand it. You're claircognizant.
Yes. So like know your clairs. They motherfucking matter. But
they do.
Imagine if I was like, okay, Jamie, to be mindful, I want everyone to do what I do. And I want you to like create space on that, like a movie screen in your mind and like see images and like interpret them based on something you're concentrating on. That's going to help you be more mindful and more intuitive. There'll be a bunch of people who'd be like, that works great.
Yes.
And there would be a bunch of people who'd be like, what? I can't do that. And then they're going to be like, I must not be good at being mindful. There's something wrong. And then you start in a shame spiral and you think you're not good at it. It's like Jamie thinking she wasn't intuitive for most of her life. Just because she's not clairvoyant. Like
seeing dead people.
Right. Literally.
Yeah.
Right. So like it's that same thing. So you need to understand those things so you can understand how to be mindful.
Yes.
For me, mindfulness is always going to start with some sort of visual.
Right.
If you're like, be mindful, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to be like, what am I looking at? What am I seeing? What am I, you know what I mean? And then it's going to go into like, what am I feeling? Like, and it's going to just follow into this place. Like, I'm going to start to be like, what am I thinking about? Like, and you're going to see my clairs working.
Right.
Okay. And it isn't about going, well, okay. So for me, clairvoyance and claircognizance are my top two. Claircognizance and clairvoyance are your top two, I think. Right. So like your top one, and then it's supported by the second one. It's not just about those though. Like if you truly want to become more mindful, work on the ones that aren't as easy for you.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So, clairaudience isn't super hard for me, but clairtangency, which is touching something and getting something or looking at a picture and getting something, I'm not super great at that. That's not a natural one for me. So working on that one will help me be more mindful because I will strengthen that ability and then I can use that also in a moment, making all those adjustments that we talked about. So understanding that about yourself and knowing that is incredibly helpful too.
It sure is.
Okay. I think we should stop our episode here.
Okay.
But I want to recap something and then tell you what we're going to talk about in part 2 of this.
Okay.
Okay. So first, I really believe and this is what I think, you should create your own thing,
that
mindfulness is a state. Okay.
Agreed.
You're going into a state of mindfulness, and that looks different for everybody. And it isn't an achievement. It isn't like, oh, I'm mindful.
And mindful forever.
Mindful.
Right.
It's just like, I'm clean. Well, you're going to have to take a shower tomorrow probably too, to stay clean. Like,
or I'm happy. You're going to be unhappy
at
some point.
Exactly. Right. It's something that you keep working towards it.
Right.
It's sort of, to me, like when someone says like, pay attention, I can't just go like, pay attention.
Right.
I have to, pay attention, and then things are going to try to distract me, and I've got to
go back
focus
again.
there. I'm going to be 10 steps ahead of what the person's saying. I have to rewind my brain to be in the present moment, not what I think they're going to say or what I know they're about to say, right? Like all of these factors are going to happen. It's constant adjustments, but that's still mindfulness. That's still presence. Okay. So I think while you're waiting from this episode till part 2, where Jamie will be wearing the same sweater, I'll be wearing the same shirt too, let's be honest. But think about, what do you feel like mindfulness means to you?
Right.
And when you're thinking like, I want to be more mindful, what do you mean?
Yes.
To me, it means I want to experience something at a greater level.
Right.
But what does it mean for you? Because it could be different.
Yeah. And also pay attention to what mindfulness looks like for you at work. What does mindfulness look like for you when you're upset? What does it look like when you're dealing with this person or that person? Because mindfulness is going to be different in all of those situations.
Such a good point. It's not like this is how I'm mindful everywhere.
All. Right, exactly.
Right, exactly. It's sort of like, well, I want to be calm, but how I'm calm at work, how I'm calm when I'm, speaking in front of people, and how I'm calm sitting in my recliner are all different calms.
Yep.
But they're all calm, right? Like, so finding that and understanding that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then when we come back for part 2, I'm going to give you some tips for how to make mindfulness work for you. Not like, here's what you need to do exactly to be mindful. It's like, how do I learn what my little adjustments are?
Yep.
How do I learn to like figure out how I personally can be more mindful? It's not a 10-step program.
Right.
How many times have we said that in our lives?
1,000.
Yeah, at least this week. Yeah. All right, we'll be back. Let's go get some coffee.
Okay.
And we'll be back for part 2.
Join us next week when we continue chatting about this topic.
Hey everyone, Heather and I have an ask for you. If you love this episode, or if you love the IGG, can you do us a favor? We need you to go onto whatever platform you listen on and download, subscribe, like, love, whatever it's asking you to do. Can you go do those things for us on the platforms that you listen on? It would mean so much to us.
Thanks for listening to our episode. For a way to get in touch with us, please visit our website, intuitivegirlsguide.com. We love hearing your feedback on our episodes.